Hi everyone, today we're talking about how you can draw polygons with the coordinate plane and how to find area and perimeter on the coordinate plane. As a reminder, you do not need to write down everything that we'll cover in this video, but be sure to jot down important information and at least one example of each type of problem that we'll cover. Also remember that you can pause the video to jot down important notes, rewind to view information again, and fast forward if you think you already got it. Just be careful, make sure you don't fast forward too much that you end up missing out on something important. So as a review, area is the amount of space inside a flat two-dimensional figure, anything you can draw on a flat piece of paper. To find it, we had to multiply. For a triangle, we have to multiply and divide, but for the most part, we multiply. The units are centimeters squared, inches squared, basically the units squared. Perimeter, a lot of people get it mixed up with area. Perimeter is the combined lengths of the sides, so it's like the edges. That's why it's important to remember that rim is inside the word perimeter. It's also for a flat two-dimensional figure. So area is the space inside, and rim is the outside. So if you think about like a garden, the area is the space inside the garden, the amount of flowers you can plant in it, and perimeter would be like how much fencing you would have on the outside to protect your garden. Okay, so perimeter, you would add the outside lengths. So it's different than area where you multiply. And perimeter, since we're only talking about length, how long the sides are, we only have the normal units, which would be like centimeters, inches, feet, units, without the squared, because it's only one-dimensional. You're just talking about how long it is on the outside. Be sure to jot this down before we move on. Okay, since this lesson is on how to plot your points on the coordinate plane to make a polygon, as a review, remember that you have to walk before you fly. So you're going to start at the origin for your point. You're going to walk either left or right to that first number. So the first number in this example is -4, so we walk to the left to get to -4. Then we fly up or down. The second number is 3, so we're going to fly up to 3, and that's the final point. So your point is where those two values meet. So the first number is how much you walk, left or right. Second number is how much you fly up and down. You're going to be joining a bunch of different points together, kind of like connect the dots to create a shape in this lesson. After you do that, you need to calculate either the area or the perimeter. Remember, we just talked about how perimeter is adding up all the sides. Area has special formulas. Most of them are just length times width, but remember that for a square, both your length and the width are the same, so you're just squaring it. And then for a triangle, you're multiplying length and width, then dividing by 2. And sometimes people call it base and height instead of length and width. Okay, so be sure this stuff, if you forgot it, is jot down in your notes somewhere before we move on. All right, so drawing polygons with coordinate plane. For this lesson, you're going to be asked to click on the graph and basically plot those points. And then you're going to be creating a shape. Go ahead and pause the video, try it on your own first. For this problem, they gave you a hint and they said it's going to create a pentagon. Penti means 5, so it's going to be 5-sided. It's going to be a 5-sided polygon, 5-sided shape with many sides. So I like to first figure out how many points there are going to be because this can be kind of confusing. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 points for your 5 sides. All right. So first things first, I'm going to start at my origin. My first number and my first point is -7.5, so I'm going to walk to -7.5. That's between -7 and -8, and then it says to fly to 0. I'm already at 0, so that's my first point. Second point, same thing, start at my origin, Ooh, it connects it for me, so that's good. Start my origin, there's no walking, so I stay here, but I'm gonna fly up to 6.5. That's my second point. Third point is starting at the origin, walking to 5.5, and then flying up to 5.5. Keep that steady, and that's gonna be right there between 5 and 6, and 5 and 6. Fourth point, start at the origin, walk to 6.5. So it's going to be right here, and no flying up and down, so that's it. And then the last point, start at the origin, and no walking, but we fly down to -4.5. So it's between -4 and 5. And then if I click that first one again, it'll connect it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's kind of lopsided, so this is what we call an irregular pentagon. A regular pentagon would be more, even, but it is a pentagon, 5 sides. Okay, so this is a review on your coordinate planes and your polygons, your shapes. The other type of problem will have you thinking about area and perimeter. So in this example, they said the upper left coordinates on a rectangle are at the point 3, -3, and the upper right coordinates are at the point 7, -3. The rectangle has an area of 16 square units. Draw the rectangle on the coordinate plane below. They gave you an example to start off with, but you can definitely move these points. Go ahead and pause the video and try this on your own first. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to plot these 2 points. I'm going to plot 3, -3. So that means I start at the origin. I go to 3 first. So let me use this point. And then I go, you know what, let me use this bottom one because it looks like it's going to go down. Go to 3 first from the origin, and then go down to -3. Okay. And then the other one is 7, -3. So I'm starting at the origin, and I walk to 7, and then I go down to -3. Okay? That says that it's the upper left and the upper right. So these two are going to have some more points down here. I don't know where they are. I'm just putting that there for now. But we know that this is the top because it's the upper left and upper right. They said that this rectangle has to have an area of 16 square units. Area equals 16 square units. For a rectangle, the area is length times width. So there's many different ways I can get to 16. I can have 1 times 16. I could have 2 times 8. I could have 4 times 4. Right? I can reverse all these, but I think that's the only different combinations of multiplication to get there. But we do know area is multiplication. Okay, so we do know these 2 points, so that gives us one side right here. We have no idea where these other points are. They could be somewhere else, okay? But we do have these 2 points, so we know that the length right here is 1, 2, 3, 4, because it goes from 3 to 7. So there's 4 spaces in between. So we know there is a 4 there. What number has to multiply by 4 to get to 16? It's got to be a 4. So it tells us that this side is also a 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hey, I put it in the right spot. Okay, and then if you wanted to double check and make sure it's 16 units inside the area is space inside, you can count all the boxes inside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Yes, there are 16 units squared inside. Okay, so that's area. Area is multiplication. Remember, perimeter is adding. The perimeter of this shape right here, let me put it here in this color. Perimeter is adding up all the sides. I have one side of 4. I have another side of 4. I have another side of 4. And you get the picture so far, right? There's 4 sides with 4 units. So in total, this perimeter is also 16 units, okay? But there's no units squared because perimeter is just the length. 4 units plus 4 units plus 4 units plus 4 units is 16 units. It's only when you square them that you get the squared. It's the exponents. Units times units is units squared. Okay, this perimeter actually ends up being the same number, 16, but it's 16 units. So just be careful what they're asking you because it's going to change everything. Although in this case, since all the sides are the same, it didn't change anything. Okay, so that's the only thing I would say to be careful of. Read if they're talking about area or perimeter. Let me know if you have any questions as you work on these problems, and I'll see you in class.